9.5, 9.6, 9.6. Round of applause.
Mami, cómprame una piragua. Mami, tengo sed, no quiero agua. No quiero Coca-Cola, jugo, nada. Mami, cómprame una piragua. There I was, draped in the most flammable of man-made materials, 60% polyester, 40% rayon, 100% uncomfortable. It was 96 degrees out, and for some reason known only to my mother and the demon she must have negotiated the deal with, she had dressed me in my navy blue suit, complete with the black penny loafers that were 2 sizes too small. These were my good clothes, and the distance between my pant leg and my shoe gave away that it had been some time since I had worn them last. I was miserable, and I knew it could only get worse. We were on our way to church, and outside it was hot, but inside that building it was fire and brimstone. I'd seen women walk in with their faces meticulously painted and done up, walk out sopping rainbow drips looking like oil puddles. I'd seen little boys' braces melt right off their teeth. I knew that in this ensemble of bad taste and kindling, I was bound to burst into flames and take out half the block. So I begged my mother, "Can we just go home? It's too hot to pray. I can't concentrate. God's not even going to hear me." But she paid me no mind. We didn't go to church very often, so when my mother decided that we were going, there was no amount of begging, crying, or logic that would make her change her mind. And I guess if you don't see him as often as you should, you don't stand up God when you finally do make a date. But I never quite bought it. That stuffy old building with its smoky rituals and dark corners was where God lived. I mean, if God could live anywhere, why would he choose to hunker down somewhere so moody, somewhere so somber, somewhere without central air conditioning? There was no way. Where he lived, it was someplace bright, someplace full of light, someplace that felt more like home and less like homework. So, as I was going over my deity's living situation, I heard something magical. It was a sound sure to restore the faith of any man, woman, or child on a day like today, where even the devil was wading in a kiddie pool. Piraguas, piragua, icy, icy, pineapple, tamarindo, cherry, blue raspberry, guanabana, piragua, piragua. In an instant, I turned on her. Using what little strength I had left in my tiny dehydrated hands, I grasped her wrist. "Mommy, please, please, Mommy, please, please, it's only $1. At first, she hesitated, taking 2 steps closer to the church and further from those precious and delicious electrolytes. "Mommy, please, I love you." It was a desperate and pathetic attempt. We both knew it. And I think that's why she took pity on me. She ran off the usual list of threats. If I dropped any on my clothes, God help me. If I dropped it on the floor, God help me. If I picked a flavor and I didn't like it, she was going to eat that shit. And she was not going to buy me another one. So I ordered a tamarindo. Not because it was my favorite, but because it was our favorite. Something about sharing it with my mother always made it taste better. And as we stood on the corner, passing that plastic spoon back and forth, it occurred to me that I was right. God didn't live in that building. I was sure of it. I could have tried to persuade her. I could have tried to tell her that sometimes God cannot be found between the darkened rows and pulpit. That sometimes when searching for him, it makes more sense to circumvent the frankincense and Eucharist. I could have told her that I was convinced that God lives in Dixie cups, that heaven's gates are a pushcart with a rainbow umbrella, that St. Peter is a Dominican woman who shaves the ice and pours the syrup, that this moment here, our sticky fingers with tamarindo tart on our lips, sharing this cup of ice and sugar, that there was more God in this moment than in all the sweltering churches in the world. I could have tried, but instead I let her have that last spoonful. And I painfully shuffled my way up the stairs because my mother had a date to keep. She was already late. Mami, cómprame una piragua. Mami, tengo sed, no quiero agua. No quiero Coca-Cola, jugo, nada. Mami, cómprame una piragua.